You can unlock every single node in the Slayer's path eventually. It just comes down to where are your priorities. The Slayer's path can be a hard one to understand at times. Which turn to take, which road leads to a dead end. Well, today I'll be trying to explain pretty much those things, what's good, what's bad, and things I didn't quite explain that great in the last video, and going over what I would pretty much do and buy and what I wouldn't. And to get started, the way Milestones worked, which I didn't know in the last video, is you get weapon skill experience, which is earned by just playing the game, and that unlocks all of these nodes. So it shouldn't be a problem. And I should mention this right now, you unlock the outpost by just paying in rams for the most part. Just do that every single time. They're very important for your progression in the game and getting XP efficiently. So, one of the first milestones is the Hunter Crafter, and to the left of it, you have the ability to unlock weapons for crafting. Now, to the left of the weapons, there are bonuses that only affect that weapon. So the adjacent nodes to the sword only affect the sword, and so on for the other weapons. These bonuses become very expensive. They start off only costing 7,500 rams and 100 combat merits. Then they jump to 1,600 combat merits and 120,000 rams. This price may seem insane, but the bonus is very small, and the goal here is to give you something to grind for, right? It's a very small bonus. You don't need it whatsoever, but it's like, hey, you can get it though. It just takes some investment. I'm mentioning this because if you're a new player, the only thing that I would do is invest points into the first adjacent node. So Bladecraft, Aetheric, that's honing, right? Aetheric honing, like I just unlock these and then call it, and I'd go back to the other nodes later on because the bonus is not really worth the price as a new player. You're much better off spending your rams somewhere else, your rams and merit somewhere else. Next milestone, Slayer's armor. Unlock the gliders for sure skis, because that's a really fun part of the game. You have the outposts, unlock those, and then in here, you have the ability to make your helmet, chest, gloves, and feet. I know I'm making this video basically again, but I didn't know the price is a thing, because I didn't have an account that was basically wiped, like I do on live. So I apologize for that. Now you have the ability to unlock stamina bonus, stamina regeneration, a health bonus, and healing from all sources. I would not put points into healing from all sources until you get Iceborne, which can be gotten pretty early on, but if you don't have it, there's no point in putting points in here yet because getting an extra 1% healing from a tonic is worthless, but getting an extra 1% healing from lifesteal is pretty beneficial if it works the way I think it works. I could be wrong, but I think I'd save this for later on when you get Iceborne. Health bonus, very important. I get that as soon as you can. And the stamina that's a little cherry on top, but not necessary. Then in Forge and Formula, unlock your loadout slots. These are pretty nice, and they're also pretty cheap. And then to the right of that, unlock your outposts, and you have the Granny Strega crafting, which is very cheap as well to unlock. And I would get the unlock consumable slots, like the first thing off rip. I do that, and then from there I would boost my healing tonics or healing flasks. So healing flasks do not cost anything to make. You always get these when you go into a hunt of any sort. So just making these stronger is going to cost you nothing. It's going to cost you the rams and the merits, but it won't cost you any ingredients to make, because stamina tonics and every other tonic except for healing flask you have to pay to make, basically. So here, you're just getting more flasks. You can carry up to 8 of these suckers. I didn't know that either, bro. Apparently, you can carry 8 of all the flasks now. That's crazy. That is crazy. I did not know that. So, it's going to be beneficial to make this as strong as possible, and I would definitely do that. And then from there, it just comes down to preference. Which tonics do you like using? Do you not mind crafting? That goes for this little tree here and up here. Although up here, I would suggest buffing the heck out of Frenzy Tonic, Blitz Tonic, and probably Aether Tonics for now. But it comes down to price, because the price of these starts to skyrocket as well. For tonics, it gets up to like 90,000 rams and 1,200 merits. And the same goes for these flasks, but for healing flasks, it's not that expensive. So maybe I wouldn't go ham on the healing flasks yet. I would wait to see what happens later on. All right. Now, to explain what is good and bad in the light the way tree, which these are the weapon modifiers, or some of them, and specials. You also get weapon modifiers and specials from trials still. Do your trials, get your skill marks, unlock stuff that's fun to play with. The best way to go through this is to go through and look at the end of this this tree. Like if the end modifier is good, then you should go through the entire node or the entire adjacent tree. So let's start off with the sword. You have charge sword focus. This is a good modifier, but it's not very practical, especially not for like the average slayer. This is, I think, technically the best in slot modifier for the sword. I think I could be wrong. If anything, it's a good one, but it's not very practical for most fights. So I wouldn't get this personally. I would instead go for recursive hilt. So I'll be unlocking all 3 of these things to get to recursive hilt. And then as for the axe, the end of this tree, you have overcharged cylinder. That is a very freaking good modifier for both escalation and for now the hunting grounds. So 100% I would unlock that, and that means I'm unlocking everything in the axe adjacent node area. For the hammer, you have extended clip, really good. The best modifier for the hammer, and that it gives you more damage. You get 2 extra shells, so that's just more damage for the hammer, and that's very crucial. For chain blades, you have straight up blades. Again, the best modifier for the weapon, pretty much all the time, except for when you're using Boreas chain blades, you want to use the modifier from trials. But anyway, bladed attacks have a chance to cause your next swinging blades to be a critical strike. On some chain blades, you just spam swinging blades, so it's really strong. For pike, this is not a good special whatsoever, and balance barrier is not very good, and neither is lightweight shaft. So instead, I would go to savage wellspring, the middle here, and call it good. So go from right here, unlock that, and this. You're gonna go from the left to the right, and the stocking points. I'll go over them again in a second. Repeaters, I would not unlock Lucky Magazine. It's not very good. And also I wouldn't unlock scope sights. You can, I should mention that you can unlock all these things at the end. Like you can unlock every single node in the Slayer's Path eventually. It just comes down to where are your priorities? Like, do you prefer having more modifiers to mess around with, even though some, like, to me aren't very useful? If you want to do that, then go ham. But I'm just trying to like give you guys the most effective way that I would do it. But instead, I would go from the repeaters and I'd unlock the full bore chamber. And for strikers, inertial fist guards aren't very good at all. And Echo Brace Driver isn't that great because crit chance isn't that crazy at the moment. We just lost the Granny Strike tonics that were really strong, went away, thank God. They were fun, but they were very strong. So this isn't very crazy. But the Titan's Crash modifier is good, so I'd unlock this. So to go over this one more time real quick, for the sword, I'd unlock Recursive Hilt, this node right here. For the axe, I'd go to the end, hammer, the end, chain blades, the end, pike, middle, repeaters, mid, and strikers, also the middle. So that's what I would do for here. I'll probably like screenshot this and just highlight it real quick so it's not hard to understand. Anyway, so, for lanterns, I would just unlock all the lanterns just for funsies. I probably wouldn't unlock Skarn though, because he's kind of like not a good one. So for resistances, I would go for fire. Fire is the one that I think affects me the most, it hurts me the most, and having more resistance to fire would be crucial, or in this case, blaze. And pylons are honestly in the same boat as the tonics. If you like using them, for sure upgrade them, but they do get expensive, so keep that in mind. Unlock your outpost, and here, this is pretty beneficial, getting the extra chance to gather more. I'd probably upgrade these, and I'd stop right here for a while. Like, the extra 5% doesn't really seem worth like damn near 100,000 rams. So I would stop at the 4 mark right here for both these. And for grenades, I would never upgrade grenades until it's the last thing I do. Never. Like, this is not worth the price tag eventually. 90k for like 15% barrage grenade damage. Nah, fam. Unless I'm one-shotting behemoths, not literally, but figuratively, I ain't doing that. Unlock trials, the outposts, and then we're towards the end of the list. The nice thing here, by the way, is the price of unlocking the escalations is very fair. I'm actually glad they didn't make it crazy. It's just 50. Like, 50, 100, 100. And then for trials, it's 300 still marks. And then you have the reforging. I'll be explaining how reforging and gear works now in a new video. I'll go over like what's good gear. and to rehash that, even though gear hasn't really changed in terms of like what's good, but the way you get gear is a bit different. But the way Reforging works now is you unlock this, and this lets you take 100 Aether Sparks and a level 20 weapon skill and reforge it, or 100 Aether Sparks, a level 20 weapon skill, reforge it, and that gives you an Aether Heart and sets the weapon skill back to level 1. And to get higher, to get these bonuses, you have to reforge however many times it says. So it goes 1, 3, 5, 7, 10. And from here, you pick the bonuses you want to work towards. If you like weapon charge rate, go sword. If you like percent power, no matter what you're using, go axe. Which, by the way, all these bonuses affect every single weapon, so it doesn't matter what you're using. If you like stagger damage, go hammer. Stamina cost reduction, go chain blades. Weapon wound damage, it's not the ability to wound, but it is wound damage, which you need to have the ability to wound in the first place to do that. So it's not very. I think the war pike is probably one of the worst ones to have personally at the moment. Move speed for repeaters, and then attack speed for strikers. You pick which one you want to do that for, and when you reforge, a lot of your freaking power and resistance is tied to weapon skill, so don't be shocked when you're not doing as much damage. And I'll be explaining that again in a new video, but hopefully this explains the Slayer's Path once and for all. This should be a lot more in depth on, like, you know, the cost of things. The way everything works is in the other video. If you want to have like the broad picture of how every single bonus like works up and adds up, I explained that. But here is what I would spend my rams on: what's good, what's bad, and things of the nature. So hopefully that explains it. If it didn't, just go to my stream at twitch.tv/OhDough and ask me some questions there. I'll answer them. I'll feel happy to. But hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hopefully it helped you. Make sure to drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more content. All those things help me out. If you want, use my credit code, which is OhDough, in the Epic Games Store. When you buy things, that helps me out a freaking ton at no extra charge to you, and I appreciate it. #ad. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.